What's up? What's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we take a look back at the early works of seasoned comedians before they were seasoned with this week's guest, Brian T. Shirley. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Thank you for joining us as we continue our interview with comedian, actor, writer, the original BTS, Brian T. Shirley. Enjoy. Now, I want to show the clip, but I want to talk about the acting thing and also the difference in the feedback. You know, with comedy, you get the instant feedback, and with the acting, you don't get you get almost no feedback.
Yeah, you get it from the director.
Yeah.
Then you get it from the audience after it's been edited. So.
Yeah. And then you get it from your friends.
Yeah. And your parents. Like, why did you do that? You better think about what you're,
Yeah, it's a slow roll reaction. It's
there's stuff I've done 2 years ago. I don't know what the hell anybody thinks of it because nobody's seen it.
So I'm going to do the first clip. This is when was this? Do you know?
It's been it was way before COVID. I made it 10 or 12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. This is the original BTS in Savannah Comedy Review in Georgia.
At one of the contests.
Right. That's what it said was one of the contests. Because I was gonna say
not the one you were in.
Right. I could tell by because the contest, most of the comedians get like 4 minutes or something.
Right.
And obviously, this is longer than 4 minutes. I knew it wasn't I knew you were not a contestant.
Yeah, and when you watch the bit, I don't know if you cut it out or not, but I even say something like, "Oh, the judges laughed" or something.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching it, they know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Here's one thing I learned about being in the military, and I'll pass it along to you civilian folks. It is tough as hell to get a job when you get out of the service, according to what you did while you were in, correct? A buddy of mine was a sniper. He had some problems finding employment when he got out. But he made his own job openings. Now here's what I'm doing. I want the judges to laugh. He's at the post office right now, as a matter of fact. I worked on B-1 bombers, avionics maintenance technician. That's electronics. See what I'm doing now? This is as close to electronics as I get right now. I got out, I thought I had it made. I went looking for jobs. I said, "What kind of experience do you have?" "I worked on B-1 bombers." I said, "Okay. All right. Here's what you can do at our corporation. Pay attention. When this buzzer goes off, you're going to pull these fries up out of the grease right here, just like that. Shake them off. That guy in the Marines, he's in the drive-thru. Like that. Aim high." I'll explain. Aim high is the Air Force credo. Every branch of the military has its own credo. Army is now Army Strong. Yep. Marines, Semper Fi. Yep. Navy is no diving. I just wanted to see if he was paying attention. There's people on the left going, "Really? No diving? I didn't know that." Thought it was bell bottoms rush. Coast Guard, to see you next weekend. Let me just say that.
I like the casual way when you say a line, you know it's funny, you know they're gonna laugh, and you pretend you're gonna talk over top of them, and you stop.
Right.
I love how you do that. It's like no diving. Yeah, and you just pretend like it looks like you're laughing. I didn't realize. Let me stop. I didn't realize.
I think it's a little bit of a timing mechanism I use in my head, So I know, okay, the laugh should come here, but I
Right.
want to be nonchalant about it. It's not a hard punch, in other words,
Right.
because I know I didn't think it needed to be. So some of those are soft punches like that, where kind of a walk away punch almost.
Yeah.
And, but like the show here tonight says, there is so much that I've done with all that and that I've added and, different nuances. I still kind of do the walk away or the,
Yeah.
like you say, nonchalant thing, but yeah, I've added a lot to that bit now. And I don't do it entirely the same way.
Right.
And if I've got a lot of military in the audience, I can really dig into that bit. And
See, now that was going to be my follow-up question, because I don't know if have you ever done a USO show?
No, I did something similar. I went to Japan and performed at Okinawa and Fuji for Marines. We did Marine bases. I was there for a week. So we did about 5 Marine bases. And yeah, I think that was before I did that tour. And yeah, there's a big joke I do. I'm not going to give it away right now, but there's a big joke I do because of that tour. And yeah. I'm actually part of a group now called Best Medicine Brigade, and it's all military or military spouses. There's about 30 of us, I think, or 17. I don't know how many. And it started in Charleston, but now it's kind of going around the country. They're doing a tour of the United States, and they're going to wind up in Hollywood. They're going to do a competition. I'm going to perform here, kind of like what you just saw. I'm going to do comedy while they're doing the votes.
Okay.
So it's a competition going around. Were you military? I can't remember.
No, I was planned on it, but apparently I wanted to go into the Air Force, and actually specifically I wanted to be an airplane mechanic.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, I mean, that was really, I'd already had the experience of flying an airplane by the time I was in high school. I had learned to fly a Cessna.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So by the time I was in high school, it was like I loved flying, and I knew all this stuff about flying, and it occurred to me that I wasn't even a teenager when I learned to fly. That any idiot could learn to fly, but you have to be really smart to be able to fix the plane so it stays up in the air.
Well, having said that, though, because you weren't in the military, that you just planned on it, you can't be a part of that group, but you can apply, and they'll say, well, GD, we planned on having you, but you weren't in the military. No, but so yeah, I'm doing hopefully doing some more military stuff, but yeah, over the years I've got to do some neat stuff for military shows. I did a reunion for the USS Wainwright. I've got a picture of it over there. They all the sailors.
Oh yeah, yes, I see it. Okay, yeah.
Now because of that, I got a challenge coin from that particular show. Now I use that in the act. So the military bit has grown. It's wild when I watch that, because now what that was, how many minutes was that? 3 minutes or something?
Actually, that section was about 2 minutes.
Okay. So, I think I can do 10 now.
Well, yeah.
I could be wrong, but I know it's grown a lot from there. So,
but there was also little snippets, cut out of it. So it may be longer. The actual performance may have been longer, but in the clip it was 2 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, because I've seen it, and I've seen you do that live.
Right.
I'm not, obviously not that one, because I didn't meet you until after that. But I've seen you do it live. It's really good. I've actually seen you do it twice live, and both times was a different experience. No.
Yeah, because it depends on the audience.
That is true also. Yeah. Because you could be like Marine heavy, a lot of, and then that almost dictates some of the stuff you like. Well, you're still going to, touch on the Navy, the Air Force, and the Army, but you're going to get
Right.
into the Marines because that's your crowd right there. There's your
Well, and if there's not a lot of military there, I'll start into it, but then I'll get out of it. You might only see a minute, if
that's
it's
true.
like just they're not into it. It's like get something else.
Abandon ship, which is a Navy term.
Which is not bad. If you're smart, you know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know what, and you can do it without them even knowing it too. It's almost like magic. You can get into something and it's not working and go to something else. And if you do it the right way, they won't even notice.
I know.
Just go, oh, he's talking about something else now. Okay.
One of the most painful things I've ever experienced was I was in the audience. I'd opened up for this. The headliner was up. I was the feature. The headliner was up, and he had lost the audience. And he lost the audience because there was a guy in the front row missing a leg, and he lost it in the military in service.
Ooh.
And so he started. I don't know what prompted him to make fun of him, but and then it's like, you're a veteran, how'd you lose? And it just what kept going downhill. And instead of like pivoting away, he just kept like digging in, trying to make the guy laugh at him again, just like trying to win him back. And the audience had turned on him. And meanwhile, my wife and I are sitting back there, and I looked at my wife and I said, I know he's the headliner, but that's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, we've all done that. I've done that. Yeah, I've done that before. Not a guy without a leg. I'm talking about, I've chased the laugh or whatever you want to call it. It's like, I'm going to get, I almost did it last week or whatever. There was a guy at this country club who, and the lady next to him and some other, they were into it and they were coming at me, not me. And it turned out to be his wife. And, I cracked back and, I saw him kind of make a few facial things when I was cracking on her. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm going, dude, your wife won't shut up. It's a show. I'm not going to, just because it's a country club, I'm not going to sit here, Plus, it was a small crowd. There were about 30 of them. And, but I almost made that mistake. I was like, no, it hit me. I went, no, just get away from them. Just talk to somebody else. If she says something, just blow her off. So, you learned. But, that's the way to learn. Hopefully the headliner learned. Next time there's a one-legged guy, I'm not going to make fun of him.
If they're smart. But then again, sometimes they think, well, it's that guy's fault. I do not like it when the comedian blames the audience. Like, it's his fault. He should have brought his other leg or something. They'll just start to,
I think we all do that. We've all done that too, because it hurts. Think about it, man. You're up there, you're naked, but mentally you're naked, emotionally you're naked, and you give it to the crowd and they don't give it back. That's painful. And who are you going to blame? Well, we don't blame ourselves, do we?
Oh man, I just, to be honest, I blame.
You do at a certain point, but I think we've all had the nights where we're like, that wasn't me, it was them,
Well, I had one night that was when I'd had a streak of luck and a streak of shows that was just going so well. I felt like I could do no wrong, and I got to smelling my own stuff.
Yeah, right.
So I was headlining, and I decided I was going to do something different. I wanted to challenge myself, so I came up with this thing called a bucket of bits. And I had the audience, as they come into the club, write things down on a piece of paper, and we just put it in a bucket. And I'm just going to grab something from the bucket, and I'm just going to riff on it. Damn it, that's how good I am. I've only been doing comedy. I've been doing comedy for like 2.5 years.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I was so full of myself. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's do this. The first 3 went great, but the fourth one, I think, was written by a serial killer. I think it was a mission statement by a serial killer. And I was trying so hard to make sense out of it that what I should have done was to make fun of the fact that it didn't make sense.
Or
Ignore it.
Right. The one thing would have been make something up that ain't even on that piece of paper.
Which I didn't think of doing.
I just thought of that. I was like,
and I'm glad you thought of it now. 5 years later. Thank you, Brian. 5 years later. Where were you? And so it was like that 10-15 for about 10 or 15 minutes went really bad. I think. And you know something? I bet you if I look at the tape, there's only 3 minutes. But you know how how it feels when you're dying.
Right. Oh yeah.
So, but I got it back. And when it was over with, a lady in the audience says to me, "You won't do that again, will you?" and I said, "Yes, I will, because I learned from that." And I said, the next time I get a piece of paper like that, I know what to do. I said, "Yes, I'm gonna do it again. I'm doing it next week." I didn't do it again. It's been 5 years. I've never done it again.
Right. You just want to double down in front of her.
Yeah. I mean, I did. I did do something like it where a friend of mine they had the comedians, they would show slides, and they just had comedians come up, they show slide, and you had to riff on whatever the slide was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did do that, but I didn't do it as G.D. Fenderson, because I think G.D. Fenderson is too restrained. I did it as a character that I have, the Reverend Dr. Jelly Roll. And the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll he is me without restraints. He's the one who doesn't have a wife to answer to for what he says.
Right.
and he as that character killed because there was like no restraints. There wasn't thinking about what my wife was, because my wife will let me know, not that it wasn't funny, but she has a master's in HR. So she looks at comedy through an HR lens sometimes.
Oh, that's a terrible lens to look at comedy.
Yeah. And so she goes like, "Did you have to make the gay joke?" I said, "No, it wasn't a gay joke. It was a joke, and the person happens to be gay. It could have been anybody. It just that person happened to be gay." She says, "So it was a gay joke?" No, it was a story, and it just so if that person had been, a 3-legged man from Uganda, that's what I would have made him. But I'm telling the story, and it's not a Ugandan story. It's not a gay story. It's just the story, and it's like, I'm sorry, honey. What kind of flower did you want me to get again?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So now your family. Well, did you try to make people laugh as a kid?
Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I mean, I was silly. I still am, but I mean, I was very silly as a kid. And I'm silly now just to people who know me. Right. Because I learned that I can't take my intense silliness to the stage, or I haven't been able to do it yet, because it's just nonsensical.
Right.
And, so I don't know if I was trying to make them laugh, or I was just a silly ass kid and it made me laugh. I think that was more of it. I made me laugh. Give a damn if anybody else did, because I was doing it to entertain myself, because I was a little nerdy child of a single parent who wasn't sometimes and was sometimes. Not that my mom, was loose or anything. It's just, she got married a couple of times after my dad left. And, I don't know. I just never had friends. I had friends, but I mean, we moved around so much that when you go to a school and you're gone, the next year to a new school, now you got to make friends all over again.
Right.
I think that was just my way of kind of acting out and writing. So being just a silly ass kid and then actually sitting down and writing were my escapes. And when I say writing, when I was doing silly ass stuff, that was the comedy part. The writing part was actually more serious. I wrote some silly sketch stuff, but I really tried to write. I remember I tried to write a science fiction novel at one time, and then I tried to write a horror novel at another time. And I mean, I got a good bit into it. I mean, I don't remember how many pages. I could find one of them, but I mean, I'm talking 50 pages or so.
Wow.
as a 13-year-old kid. And then the other one, I forgot. I look at the idea of the horror novel and I think I could do something with that, maybe. I thought, but Predator was pretty close to it. It wasn't about the one I wrote wasn't about aliens.
Now, when you wrote this when you were 13, did you write this on a typewriter?
No. Mm-mm. I sat down and wrote these.
I was just trying to get I just wanted people.
No, I'm manual. No,
okay.
Shit. Typewriter? Nah, we couldn't afford a typewriter. I think at some point we did, and maybe I tried, but I didn't like. I don't think I was into typing that much. I was, I loved just pen and paper, and still do.
When you were a kid, whose laugh? When you're trying to make people laugh, whose laugh when you heard it meant the most to you? Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's hard to say now. Making my dad laugh, and my mom too, although they're in two different states.
So what, sobriety and poverty, or what state?
No, Georgia and South Carolina, but that's funny. Actually, that's true. Sobriety, my mom's, drunkenness, my dad. I don't know. I think I just loved hearing people laugh when I was a kid, and I still do. So I don't know if it was any, my friends, and my parents, and their laughter meant a lot to me, and still does. I don't think that's changed. I think I still like making the same people laugh, although I learned making a crowd laugh,
Right.
But the sound of laughter is something that you know what I loved to do when I was a kid, is write something stupid on a piece of paper and then show it to somebody and just watch them read it,
Yes. Yeah.
And then when what their reaction was, and when they laughed, I was like, yes, if they didn't, then I laughed because I know it was so damn stupid. So what happened most of the time is I laughed and they didn't. And I laughed even when they did, but God, it would kill me when they would look at it like, that would make me laugh. But sometimes I would just come out with the most bizarre things just so I could see people's face. And to not make them laugh was funny to me. Just to make them go like that would just kill me. I thought it was funny.
Now, just before we watch that part before we watch the first segment of your bit, we were talking about we said we were going to talk about the difference between acting, the feedback from acting, and the instantaneous feedback from doing stand up, and the differences. So, and in your case, you're also an author, so you have a book. And now a funny thing happened on the way to the club.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. It's a Kindle book. It's still Kindle?
Yes,
or?
I believe it is. It's not. No, it's never been in print. Yeah, right. It's and I was thinking about doing, because I do audiobooks for other people.
Oh, okay.
So, I was thinking about turning that one into an audiobook. But the only reason I haven't yet is because now we've been, me and some other folks have been thinking of either a movie or, a podcast or something with not just that. Because it's a funny thing happened on the way to the club is road stories.
Right.
20 years on the road back then. And, so we're thinking of, what are we going to do? Because I'm saying there's other people involved now, not necessarily with the book, but they've asked me, why don't we do this and that? And I'm like, yeah. And the latest one has been maybe that we get some of the guys that I came up in the business with, and we all do a round table and just tell road stories. So that's that's an idea that's been kicked around. And but I love the movie idea, because who doesn't like a road movie? I mean, look at what was it? What was the one where the guy lost his tooth and there was a tiger in the hotel room, and
Hangover. Was it Hangover 2 or 1?
It doesn't matter.
3, 6.
Who doesn't like a road story movie?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I think that's kind of where it's going. So if I do write anything towards all that, it's going to be probably either a series or a film. We'll see.
Now, the book that you, like I said, Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Club, available. Well, you can get it through your website.
Amazon. I think it's on Amazon.
Yes, sir. Because there's a link to Amazon through your website.
Yeah.
Yes. 99 cents is a good deal. So check it out. Now, are those stories like, because you did a video, I get video blog, video diary, a BTS on the road. You should do little short vignettes. I guess is that a right way to describe it? Vignettes, or how would you describe them?
Just probably podcasts now, I guess. I don't know. All it was whatever I was doing, and the ones I do now are considerably shorter, only about a minute or two. Those were anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 minutes.
Right.
And what I did was I showed you the journey to and from the clubs. I showed you the clubs themselves, a little bit of stand-up. Then some of the club owners, I interviewed them, or I interviewed comedians, or if something stupid happened, like one of them, I left with a Mitsubishi Lancer and went on tour, and it broke down, and I came home with the car I have now, a 2015 Malibu. How many people have went on tour and came back with a different car? Well, I did. And that's all on video. I even got the tow truck drivers that towed and they were going, "You're watching BTS on the road." You know, this is in Birmingham, Alabama. You can see that on YouTube right now.
I was about to ask, are they all together in one place now?
Yeah,
still?
They're all on YouTube.
Okay.
And I call that the top to bottom tour, because Saturday I started up above you on Lake Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan City, I don't know. I was on Lake Michigan Saturday, and I wound up in Fort Walton Beach the next Saturday.
Wow.
And did Alabama in between. And the car made it to Alabama, and then got a new car and continued. I mean, I can't believe, talking about it now, I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But, and got it all on video. And you ought to see how pissed I am. I'm backstage. I'm at the Stardome in Alabama, a famous comedy club, huge. There's like 900 people there. And I'm backstage going, well, my car broke down. I'm depressed, about to go on stage, still filming I better do the BTS on the road, because I started filming it and I was all excited. But now, I show you the new car and I show you the old car up on the tow truck. I mean, you just watch it, you'll see.
So how did the show go?
Oh, the shows were great, from what I remember. I think. Well, I mean, yeah, that's the other thing. You go through all this crap, and there's all kinds of things that have happened, and you just got to kind of go back on stage, And now that I look back, it wasn't as terrible as I thought it was, because I got a new car. Although, who wants to all of a sudden have to buy a new car?
Yes.
I was upside down in the other one as far as loan, and I'm going, oh my God, what are my payments going to be now? So I just was affording this one. Now it's going to be twice as much. geez, I got to get some more bookings. You know, it was, you know, you're going through that right before you go on stage. I was at the dealership all day. You know, you get there at 7 in the morning and you're there till 5 and you're going, all right, let's sign this. I got to get on stage, but come on, let's go. This is my last, you know, I was there 3 days at the Stardome and that was my last night. When all this
Okay.
happened. Yeah. So no wonder I had the heart attack. I mean, you through all that, you're like, that's got to be a little bit of stress. You know?
So the difference between the feedback from acting and comedy, and like I say, even with the book, because with the book, it's more like if people give you feedback at all, because it's like one person. It's not like you're 9 people sitting around reading the book. It's like one person
Right.
reads it and one
Yes.
person reads it, and maybe they'll get back to you and let you know what they thought of the book. Otherwise, you may not hear anything at all. You know, most people don't write the authors of books and say, "I really liked your book." Most
No,
people.
yeah, right. Especially if they're unknown.
Yeah, so you have that book out there, which you may not have gotten any feedback from. I don't know if you have or not.
I think there's a few reviews on there, but at a certain point, you don't want to read those anymore. You know, you'll be like, what's his name that blew his brains out?
Many of them.
Yeah. Oh, writers are notorious depressed people. Not all of them, but there's.
Yeah.
Hemingway, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, the feedback on all that is such diversity because, you know, like you say, comedy is instant and then acting is kind of gradual, director and then other actors, you know, you hear it on the set and everything. And then maybe you get some you know, maybe the trailer comes out and it looks good, you know, shoot, I made the trailer. Wow. You know, and if you don't make the trailer, then you're like, gee, did I even get in the movie? You know? And yeah, so that's yeah. And I'm still going, I mean, you go through the thing with acting is you go through that for years on some of this stuff. I mean, there's a film I shot, I don't know. I think it's been 2 years. I don't know. Me and the actress in that film, we were together in that, playing husband and wife. Well, we just played husband and wife in another film this past weekend. We were talking about, I was going, do you think the movie's ever going to come out? And she's like, I don't know.
Did you have the same haircut in both of them?
Yeah, well.
Because she could change her hairstyle. I didn't know if you changed yours or not.
No. Well, I don't know if you know about this, GD, but they have these things called wigs. So I'm not always a bald guy. No, I did a background work in something that's come. Talk about things that aren't out yet. Here's another one. It's called Manhunt, and it's on, I think, Apple TV, I believe, and it's still not out. It's coming out this fall, I think. And if you want to look and see me real quick, folks, it's about the 10 days that they hunted John Wilkes Booth after he shot Lincoln.
Okay.
So it's a period piece. And
thank goodness.
I went down and did it twice, and both times, big old wig on my head. Yeah. Sat in a chair for at least an hour or two with that for makeup. But yeah, there's another one. It's like, I don't know if I made it, but I got the IMDb credit. Oh yeah. So
now, is there, because you've done quite a few, independent films.
Yes.
Right? Quite a few. Is there like one, if you had to recommend one to the people watching now that they say, okay, you want to really see BTS and his best acting, you've got to see this. What is it?
Oak on the Outside.
Oak? Like OAK?
Right, like the tree. Oak on the Outside. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Tubi, TUBI. I don't know if a lot of people know that platform, but it is getting bigger and bigger. And Plex, PLEX. So if you've got Roku, Apple, any of those apps, Roku TV, Apple, or whatever, that's on there. And I've been in some more. Some of them aren't out. But the other one's Treasure Box. But
I should choke you for putting her young ass out on the street.
Buddy, I'm on the way to get this money right now. What are you talking about?
it's kind of short. I mean, it's a good scene, but it's pretty quick. And I don't slap her around, but I chase a hooker. If you want to see the bad side of me, you can see that. I'm kind of a bad guy in that one. But Oak on the Outside, I play a detective. And the scene is about 4 minutes long. And it bookends. You see me drive up, and it's my car we're using. And then you see me back out in my car again. And they put a police light on it and everything in the dash. But I like that scene because, it's a good chunk of the movie. And if you watch the film, that's a pivotal scene too. It's really got a lot of tension and stuff going on. And I drive the scene because I'm a detective investigating something. So I'm doing all the questioning. So that showcased a lot for me. And it's funny that you bring that up because right now, and I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm writing down my lines. I'm writing some scenes from a script I got today from the same director.
Okay.
From Oak on the Outside. We're doing something called The Third Party. And that's another one I would say, yeah, watch that. It's a short, though, and it's not on any major platforms. And as a matter of fact, I think he pulled it off of YouTube and everything because we're going to turn it into a movie. So we were shooting that during COVID. Right as COVID was coming in, we were shooting. So it got shut down. We didn't get to finish. We were going to make it into a pilot.
Right.
And we only got a certain amount of it done. And once COVID shut it down, it was just the momentum was lost. And then trying to get everybody back, it was just. So what he's done, and this has obviously been a couple of years, he came to all of us that were in it, most of us, and he said, I want to turn it into a movie. I don't want to do a TV series anymore. I want to do one film with it. Are you on board? And I said, sure. I'm redoing the role. It's new. I mean, it's new material, but so that same actor. So if you watch Oak on the Outside and you see the quality of that film, which is excellent, very well shot, beautiful scenery. That's the same quality you're going to get with this new one called The Third Party, which we're going to shoot in July, starting July 12th. Should shoot it he's wanting to do it in 10 days. This guy's ambitious. We're talking a feature length and 10 to 15 days, I think. And Adrian Roman is his name, Shadow Moss Entertainment. So we're going to shoot that, and then he's a beast. He might have it out before the end of the year, which is amazing for a feature. Okay. To shoot it in July and get it out by the end of this year. And then he's working on another one for next year to start shooting in January. I don't know if I'm going to be in that one. I just know that I auditioned for a part.
Hi, I'm GD Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Please join us as we continue our interview with comedian, actor, writer, the original BTS, Brian T. Shirley. And when you come back, bring a friend. And please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.